Only 15 people throughout all of human history have ever survived being diagnosed with rabies, making the mortality rate of rabies virtually 100%. If you start to notice the symptoms of rabies, there's a strong chance that it's already too late for you.
I'm back, it's your boy FITCICE, and today we're going to be taking a look at these creepy TikTok videos. If you guys like the video, make sure to like the video. The like goal is 2,000 likes. It says 75% of you guys are not subscribed, so make sure to subscribe and watch till the end of this video because it gets crazy.
According to a disturbing new analysis, phrases like "get back in the kitchen" and "your body, my choice" has surged on social media since Trump's re-election. This post by Nick Fuentes, for example, on the night of the election saying "your body, my choice forever" got over 90 million views and was reposted more than 35,000 times. Between Thursday and Friday, the ISD recorded a 4,600% increase in mentions of the phrase on X, and also posts calling for the repeal of the 19th Amendment, which gives women the right to vote, also surged 663% on X last week compared to the week prior.
I'm not gonna lie, anyone that's typing that on X is absolutely insane. Like, I don't think all those search volumes are positive though. I feel like people are looking at it and the volumes are so high because people are like kind of shocked and just being like, what is this kid saying? I really hope so, because if not, then there's some problems going on right now.
Only 15 people throughout all of human history have ever survived being diagnosed with rabies, making the mortality rate of rabies virtually 100%. If you start to notice the symptoms of rabies, there's a strong chance that it's already too late for you. The first symptom typically reported with rabies is a sense of impending doom. Our bodies are built to know if we have rabies or not. You see, rabies restructures a person's brain. It causes our bodies to no longer serve us, but to serve the virus. Rabies causes a person to have an insatiable fear of water. This is because the rabies virus knows that our body needs water in order to power our immune systems. If our body has no water and no immune system, then it's easier for the virus to spread along the body. Rabies will also make a human incredibly scared of light or things like the sun. We don't know why quite yet, but there has to be some function for it. Eventually, a person who contracts rabies will be so fearful of water that they'll be unable to swallow their own saliva. And coincidentally, that's what rabies is known and infamous for, causing foaming of the mouth, kind of like this. Luckily, these days we have vaccines that can prevent someone from contracting rabies in the first place, so that's good.
You know what's funny? In our last video, a guy mentioned something about zombie apocalypse, and you see how he was talking about the rabies virus as how it kind of rewires our brain to only serve the virus. That's exactly why I think a zombie apocalypse is 100% possible.
This insane mother 3 kids while singing to them. Rachel Henry was a 22-year-old living in Oklahoma. She lost her mom when she was 18, which had a huge impact on her mental health. She got into substance abuse and eventually she lost her job. She then moved to Arizona with her 3 kids and lived at her aunt's house. But she was still addicted and broke. Her addiction was so bad, neighbors saw her walking around the street like a zombie. One night she was alone at the house playing with her 3 kids when all of a sudden she began suffocating her 2-year-old daughter with a pillow. Even her 3-year-old son was punching and kicking Rachel to try and get her to stop, but it was no use. Once her daughter stopped moving, she carried her to the bedroom and wrapped her in a blanket to make it looked like she was sleeping. Now she started chasing her 3-year-old son around the house. Luckily, the aunt came home just as this was happening.
Disturbing facts that might ruin your day. There have been at least 2 fatal plane crashes due to wasps. We are all spending more than 6 hours a day on our phones, which is more than 25% of our entire existence. There are job applications out there that are only for collecting data. This is why large companies have positions that they never actually seem to hire. This wildlife painter from the 1800s would eat all of the birds that he painted. Bald eagles, owls, sparrows, robins, whooping cranes. 5,000 mail carriers are attacked by dogs every year. A 6-year-old's family thought he was too friendly with strangers, so they had a coworker that was a stranger to the boy hold him in a truck for 4 hours before lecturing him about stranger danger. Half of all plastic in the world has been created in the last 15 years. Crayons have a derivative of beef fat called stearic acid that is also what gives it its waxy smell. Loneliness can be as harmful to somebody's health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day.
So my whole existence has been equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Wow. And it's crazy because one of my friends that's actually a delivery driver at Amazon told me that he literally just got attacked by a dog the other day. So that's funny he said that.
3 places you should never swim. One of the rivers that you should never set foot in is Bubbly Creek, located in Chicago. In the 1900s, American meatpacking companies drained their waste into this creek, which caused really toxic fumes due to the decomposition of animal organs and blood. Not even a fish could survive in this creek. In Thailand, there's one area that causes concern called the Sa Mason Hole. It's a really deep underwater cave, which causes bad visibility for whoever swims there. So unless you want to get lost in the sea, I don't recommend swimming there. The last place is called the Amazon Basin in South America. It's drained by the Amazon River and has lots of predatory animals, like caimans, barracudas, piranhas, and deadly candiru fish, which is attracted by urine and can get into your urinary tract and cause a lot of pain. The boiling lake in Dominica is so dangerous that the magma underneath the surface makes the water so hot that you would be swimming in boiling water. Lake Karachay is one of the most toxic lakes on Earth, due to all the toxic waste that the Russian government introduced when toxic materials weren't as big of a problem. The Nile River is filled with crocodiles everywhere that could kill you, and if you manage to escape the crocodiles, you'll have snakes as a second problem. In the river and outside of it, you could probably find at least 15 venomous species. Jacob's Well is a lake located in Texas where you could dive really deep, but you have to be careful because there's caves below where people can get trapped. And lastly, Hanakape Beach has currents so strong that they even keep count of how many deaths there's been to scare people, and the number of people killed is 80.
I think it's safe to say that I'm never swimming in any of those lakes, ever.
These are the most scariest curses to use in real life, part 3. To perform the third curse, you have to go outside at midnight with a glass cup and make sure that nobody is around you. Then say the person's name you want to curse 10 times over and over again. Next, take the glass cup and throw it on the ground. When it shatters, count how many pieces it is in. Now the number that you get is the amount of days it will take for the person you curse to die. Now pick up every piece of glass, but be very careful. If you cut yourself with the glass while picking it up, the curse will be placed on you instead.
But if we're being honest, that is so fake. So you're telling me if right now, if I just take some glass and just smash it on the ground, I'm just like, curse Justin Bieber, curse Justin Bieber. Then I start picking it up, you know what I'm saying? 24 pieces on the ground. 24 days till Bieber dies? Hell no, that's nothing's happening.
Stop. If you have a dog, you need to know this. When a dog lays on their back with their belly exposed, it means they trust you because that's a very vulnerable position. And when a dog leans against your leg, it's their way of hugging you and showing you love. Dogs get something called the zoomies, which makes them go crazy. And it only happens to dogs that are happy and healthy, so if your dog is doing this, then you're a good owner. When a dog tilts their head, they're curious and trying to figure out whatever it is they're looking at. And finally, dogs sneeze while play fighting to show that they don't want to hurt you. It's their way of saying it's just a joke. You can only follow if you learn something new.
Gruesome facts you didn't know, part 125. Salomo Aruch was a boxer of Jewish-Greek descent who had to literally fight for his life during the Holocaust. Before arriving at Auschwitz, he had an undefeated record of 24-0. Almost immediately after arriving at the camp, a Nazi commandant asked the new prisoners if there was any fighters or boxers among the group. He raised his hand and he was forced to fight right then and there to prove that he wasn't lying. Within minutes, he defeated his opponent and was immediately presented with another, which he also knocked out. In almost 2 years, he participated in over 200 fights. They would fight until somebody went down or they got sick of watching, but they wouldn't leave until they saw blood. This next one is a prime example as why you should never ride with your feet on the dashboard. Grain Keeley was the passenger of a car that skidded on black ice and careened into a wall in 2006. When the accident occurred, her feet were on the dashboard, causing her knees to slam into her face, breaking almost every bone. She was also left with 2 missing teeth and a brain leak. Following an infection, doctors were forced to remove her forehead for 2 years. Finally, in 2009, she was fitted with a ceramic forehead.
Oh my gosh. Everything bad happened in that scenario. First, her face got caved in, and then she got an infection. Karma was not on her side that day.
She was last seen at the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco on Halloween night. 18-year-old Mai Sai-Vu had just started her first semester at Sac City College in Sacramento, California. On October 31st of this year, Mai and some of her friends took a little trip to San Francisco to go see Alan Walker, who was performing at the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium. Around 11 p.m., Mai left the show. She ended up calling an Uber, and that Uber picked her up in front of the venue. There is speculation that Mai and her boyfriend ended up getting into an argument, and that's the reason why she left, but none of this has been confirmed. While she was in her Uber, she had the Uber driver drop her off at the Golden Gate Bridge. At this point, it is now getting close to midnight, and this is the last time that anyone has seen her. Mai is roughly 110 pounds, 4'11", has black hair, brown eyes, and since it was Halloween night that day, she was wearing a pirate outfit. She had a long sleeve white dress on, black leggings, and black heels. Her family is asking for your help. If you have any kind of information on Mai, please contact the San Francisco Police Department. I'm just praying that she is able to reunite with her family again.
Gorillas are unintentionally the funniest animals on the planet. Let me explain. They share 98% of our DNA and also custody of the hatred of getting caught in the rain. Peep the wall hug, peep the face. That's perfect form. You've seen gorillas beat their chest, but have you heard it? Science says it's for intimidation. Whole time. Sounds like Bubble Buddy up in the blicky. There's another thing you hear around gorillas. They eat 30 to 40 pounds of roughage a day, which means gorillas are almost constantly ripping it. Gorillas can walk on two, and you know they sound like Squidward steps doing it. This is a western lowland gorilla, and its genus name is gorilla, and its species is also gorilla. And this particular gorilla is a subspecies of gorilla called gorilla, meaning its full scientific name is gorilla, gorilla, gorilla. Sound like a designer song. Fun fact, the name gorilla comes from an ancient Greek word meaning a tribe of hairy women. Gorillas are a walking tribe of intrusive thoughts. They don't think it, they just do it. Yeah, we're not that different. You ever lock in for too long and just start tweaking? Yeah, that 98 something serious. We twins for real. You know that's his girl and you know that's not the first time. You want more? Okay, gorillas have been recorded singing and humming while eating. Okay, last one. Coco the gorilla was famous for using sign language. She was also attracted to humans after being raised by them and was obsessed with the milk faucets, to the point where several women were apparently told to flash Coco. There was a lawsuit, but Coco never got charged, but it proves that gorillas are like us. They can multitask and look at two things at once.
This is the disturbing truth behind ants. Okay, so did you know when ants die, a certain juice leaks out of their body, which tells the other ants to bury it? But sometimes those juices get on alive ants. And no matter how much they squirm and try and tell the other ants that they're not dead, the other ants just won't listen and bury it alive. So if you ever saw ants carrying each other, this is the reason why, and there's a very high chance that that ant is still alive and is about to get buried alive.
Yo, I do not know what it is, but I just love ant culture. Like, it's just so interesting to see how they live. Another thing about ants is that they're only really reactive to pheromones, like what they kind of smell. There's a reason why other queen ants can invade another ant species and take on the queen smell, and the whole ants will think it's still the queen. It's weird how that works, how they really just communicate through pheromones like that.
Myths you still believe about Canada Part 3. Canada is ruled by Britain. Canada is a parliamentary democracy and constitutional monarchy. However, the King of Britain is only a figurehead, but he really only fills ceremonial and symbolic roles as needed, and is represented by the Governor General here in Canada. We have our own government with a Prime Minister and a Parliament that makes decisions like what laws we need to adhere to, and they are elected in similar to the US, except they have a president. People don't lock their doors in Canada. In his documentary Bowling for Columbine, Michael Moore made the bold statement that Canadians felt so safe they refused to lock their doors. His theory was that we were totally unafraid of crime. Well, while we are a safer country than the United States regarding assaults and homicides, we do have a lot of property and car theft, actually more than America. So yes, we lock our doors.
Kinda depends when you were born, but do you remember anything about this movie? One thing. There's a reason that Return to Oz is considered to be one of the most disturbing films that Walt Disney Pictures ever put out. Basically, the premise is that Dorothy has come back from Oz and everybody in her life believes that she is mentally ill. So like a perfectly good farm family, they submit her to an asylum. At this asylum, she is supposed to receive electroshock therapy. She then escapes the asylum with the help of this anonymous accomplice. They end up jumping into a nearby river to escape the building, but then they get washed away from each other. Dorothy then wakes up again in Oz. She has a talking chicken named Bellina, and it's like the entire place has been overrun with this gang called the Wheelers. They are so scary. Not only that, but she encounters Princess Mumbai, a headless woman with a collection of heads.
Cursed games you should never play. Part 35, Gnome Gnome Come. This game will allow you to have any wish come true. You'll need 3 or more people to play this game, and you'll also need to start in a dark room. Tie one end of a thread to the leg of a chair or the leg of a table. Now one by one, have every player wrap a piece of candy to this thread. As each player ties their candy, make a wish. This can be anything, but do not say it out loud. Once everyone has made their wish and put their candy on the string, have everyone face away from the chair. And now have one player turn off the lights. Once this is all complete, you should all chant Gnome Gnome Come 3 times. Now wait and do not move. Listen carefully for any movement, rustling, or candy wrappers crinkling. If you do hear anything, the game is going as it should be, but do not turn around until this noise stops. Once it does stop, you can turn on the lights and go look at the candy. And if your candy has been unwrapped, bitten, or eaten entirely, your visitor has chosen to grant your wish.
Yeah, again, let's not do any of those cursing games. I don't know why people would want to play cursing games like that. Like, is it fun? Is it even fun? Like, what do you even get out of that?
These are the 9 deadliest animals to humans. You may think they're polar bears, lions, or even sharks, but they're not. Wait till you see these. Number 9. Hippos, 500 human deaths per year. Number 8, elephants, 600 deaths per year. Number 7, saltwater crocodiles, 1,000 deaths per year. Number 6, roundworms, 2,500 deaths per year. Number 5, scorpions, 2,600 deaths per year. Number 4, assassin bugs, 10,000 deaths per year. Number 3, saw-scaled viper snakes, 138,000 deaths per year. Number 2, freshwater snails, 200,000 deaths per year. And finally, number 1, mosquitoes, 725,000 to 1 million deaths per year. We are afraid of the wrong creatures.
I'm scared of mosquitoes. I actually hate mosquitoes with a passion, but you know, they serve their purpose in the kingdom, in the animal kingdom.
I went to a film festival and I watched a movie that I can't stop thinking about, and the release date is so soon. It's been in my top horror movies of 2024, and I have a little sneak peek, and I can't wait for you guys to see.
Could you open the door?
What do you want?
You're in trouble. I saw you come out of the house just now. You went to the car to get something. You left this door open behind you. Somebody went inside.
What?
I saw you go to your car and you left the door open. Somebody slipped inside. They're in there now.
I didn't see anyone.
I know that. Your back was turned.
What are you doing standing outside my house?
Would you just open the door? I'm trying to help you.
That movie looks like it could honestly have an amazing plot. The only problem is I personally would not let that guy in my crib because 1, facts, why are you outside my house? And 2, why do you look like that? Like, honestly, you know, maybe if it was a guy coming with a suit and be like, hey, ma'am, but like, that guy kind of gives me a little bit of a creep vibe. But maybe he's right. Like, I don't know. I feel like those movies are those type of movies where you would think like, oh yeah, I'm not letting that dude in, and the whole time he's right. You know what I'm saying?
The fiancée of the ice hockey star who died from a freak accident has paid tribute to her sweet angel. Nottingham Panthers player Adam Johnson's throat was cut by an opponent's skate blade when they collided during a match against the Sheffield Steelers on Saturday. The 29-year-old briefly stood up, bleeding profusely onto the ice before collapsing again. He received immediate medical attention with CPR performed on the ice and was taken to hospital but could not be saved. His girlfriend, who he proposed to in the summer, has paid tribute on Instagram saying, "Sweet, sweet angel, I'll miss you forever and love you always."
That sounds like something from Final Destination. That's insane, dude. What?
You could rack your brain right now to ask yourself, what is the most disturbing Disney Channel original movie? Which one would you pick? If you chose Don't Look Under the Bed, you're correct, because the movie actually almost never even made it to television. Any of the sequences that did eventually make the cut were considered so disturbing, this is actually one of the only Disney Channel original movies that has a TV PG rating. Anne Sweeney, who was the president of Disney Channel at the time, as well as countless other executives, had a lot of issues with this film. And even to this day, there are still still some sequences, some scenes that have never seen the light of day. They were not going to be included in the movie. And I think in part, the credit should go to the director, who was really trying to creatively push the boundaries of what could be included in children's horror. Even just beyond the disturbing imagery, they explored some pretty dark themes in a children's movie, starting to play with psychological horror when Frances can see things that everybody else thinks she's crazy for. In 2006, Disney Channel had to pull it from the October catalog. It will not be on Disney Channel again.
I stopped this series at part 17 1 year ago, but now I'm bringing it back. These are 8 horrifying facts that will probably keep you up at night. Number 1. There are more bones in gummy worms than real worms. Number 2. When you kiss a person in the mouth, you exchange over 80 million types of bacteria. Number 3. In July 2020 in Panama, 7 people were found dead after an exorcism. The demons that possessed these 7 people were not happy with the exorcist, so they took the lives of these 7 people before the job was done. Number 4. 2 days ago, the state of Texas declared war with the United States. Number 5. It is physically possible to be so constipated that your stool will back all the way up your digestive tract and you will vomit your poop. Number 6. Pandas' diet is mostly vegetarian, but they will eat meat. The reason they don't is because they are too lazy to hunt down other creatures. Number 7. Your eyes have a separate immune system from the rest of your body. Once your body's immune system discovers you have eyes, it will attack and inflame the blood vessels in the back of your eyes until you completely lose your vision. Number 8. The average person eats 5 grams of microplastics in a week. That's about the exact amount of plastic on a credit card.
Dude, we need to get these microplastics out of here, bro, before everyone starts just dying of cancer and all those garbage that it gives you.
He broke the TV! See that?
Well, the beast with the cry.
No! Did you mute?
It's really interesting to me that dogs can actually see what's going on TV. At first, when I was younger, I thought they could never see that. They definitely see what we see, but just different color frames of what we see. It's interesting. That's hella funny. You should try that with your dog and let me know what he does in the comments.
Thank you all for watching this here.